She presented me as her chauffeur at a gathering I contributed funds to. Announced it clearly so the whole room caught it. When I drew her aside later, she sighed dramatically and remarked, "You ought to feel lucky I permitted your entry at all." I refrained from debating, kept my tone steady, simply grabbed my coat and departed. 14 days on, her folks appeared on my doorstep. Strange how years alongside someone can leave you unaware of their true nature. Or perhaps the indicators were present throughout, and I chose to overlook them. Regardless, the events of the prior month altered it all. Here's the rundown. I-32M had been involved with Susan, 29F, for roughly 2 years. We connected via shared acquaintances during a pub quiz evening. She was striking, self-assured, and possessed this knack for drawing people toward her. I was smitten deeply. Susan is employed in IT at a technology firm in the city center. Basic assistance position, modest salary, yet she always discussed it as if she managed the operation. I operate as a general builder heading my own modest enterprise. Not flashy, but I've developed it from scratch into a source of pride. It covers expenses and beyond. At the outset of our relationship, everything felt ideal. We'd pass weekends wandering the urban area, sampling fresh eateries, viewing independent movies at that cozy cinema she adored. But reflecting now, subtle hints of imbalance were ever present. Minor remarks on my attire, understated quips about my pickup, the reality that over 2 years, she'd never introduced me to a single coworker. I dismissed it all because, after all, I was enamored. Roughly a month back, Susan noted that her firm was hosting a major client gratitude event at a luxurious hotel in the downtown district. She was assisting with coordination, and she appeared overwhelmed, ensuring perfection. "Jessica from IT is bringing her partner," she said offhandedly one evening while browsing her device. "He's an attorney or similar." "Oh, is it possible to bring a guest?" I inquired, not dwelling on it. I could attend for encouragement if desired. She paused briefly, but I detected it. "I suppose you could join. It's merely a crowd of business types discussing dull job matters." I proposed covering some costs, aware she'd been anxious about finances recently. Her rent had increased, and she'd been suggesting a potential relocation. I ultimately covered her fresh gown, $450, the present package for her supervisor, $200, and additional event materials. Not extravagant, but certainly not trivial. The evening of the event came, and I polished up well. Donned my finest suit, reserved for major client meetings, secured a recent trim. The full effort. Susan appeared preoccupied when I collected her in my pickup, scarcely noting my appearance, merely confirming if I had the present package. Upon reaching the hotel, I sensed her stiffen next to me. As we crossed the foyer toward the banquet hall, she began advancing slightly ahead, widening the gap. "Perhaps you ought to linger in the lounge," she proposed abruptly. "I must verify a few details initially. I'll accompany you," I responded. "Perhaps I can assist with carrying items." She appeared irritated but didn't protest. Entering the banquet hall, I was struck. All appeared splendid. Complimentary drinks, elegant hors d'oeuvres in circulation, ambient illumination. Susan promptly noticed some coworkers and proceeded over with me following. "Susan, it all looks fantastic," remarked a lady in a sharp ebony gown. Who might this be? A momentary silence lingered, excessively prolonged. I reached out to present myself when Susan interrupted. "This is Alex, my chauffeur for the night." The statement lingered heavily. Her coworker appeared puzzled, eyeing my suit, evidently unconvinced I was merely a chauffeur. "Your chauffeur?" she questioned, brow arched. "Yes," Susan chuckled overly emphatically. "He kindly transported me, but he's departing now," she directed at me. "Correct, Alex?" It felt like a blow to the stomach. 2 years as a couple, reduced to her chauffeur. I softly grasped her arm and led her a short distance from the cluster. "What on earth was that?" I asked softly, maintaining composure. She sighed, glancing back to check observers. "Listen, these are key individuals. My professional future depends on this. You truly should wait in the vehicle or similar. I contributed to this event," I noted. "I purchased your gown." That's when she uttered it, staring directly with utter disdain. "You ought to feel lucky I permitted your entry." In that instant, it all clarified. Those minor hints, those remarks weren't mere idiosyncrasies or off days. This defined her. I avoided confrontation, kept quiet. Merely nodded, agreed you're correct, and exited. I collected my coat from the attendant and drove home quietly. By arrival at my residence, my device showed numerous missed calls and messages from Susan. "Where did you go? Are you truly abandoning me without transport? Stop overreacting. You're shaming me." I ignored everyone. simply powered off my device and cracked a brew. I felt oddly serene, as if emerging from an extended illusion. The following dawn, Susan was at my entrance. Her eyes appeared swollen as if from tears, but her cosmetics remained flawless. Always prepared for the spotlight that defined Susan. "What occurred last night?" she insisted. "You simply departed. I required a rideshare home. I rested against the frame, not welcoming her inside. You labeled me your chauffeur. It was merely humor. Heavens, you're overly touchy. Those individuals matter for my career. I didn't wish them to assume I was, well, involved with a builder. I completed for her." She showed faint embarrassment. "That's not my intent. It's complex, workplace dynamics and such." Then the weeping began. She excelled at it. Tears at will, she expressed deep regret, how pressure from impressing her superior had affected her, how she'd compensate. She even proposed a weekend escape, solely us. "I adore you," she murmured, caressing my cheek. "You realize that, yes, last night was an error. I was foolish. I allowed her to believe my acceptance, welcomed her inside, prepared her coffee, heard her justifications and rationales. She departed soon, apparently assured of reconciliation. Several days later, surface normality resumed. Susan became overly loving, sending constant affectionate symbols, and discussing our shared tomorrow. Then, approximately a week post-event, she phoned enthusiastically. "Darling, exciting news. My birthday approaches in a few weeks, and I considered arranging a meal for colleagues at that upscale spot, Antonelli's." "Sounds pleasant," I replied, tone even. "Indeed, but listen. I'm tight on funds this period following the event and more. You seek my assistance with costs I anticipated. Could you? It would signify greatly. Merely my professional circle, you understand. Opportunity to connect. I observed no invitation for my presence." "What amount?" "Likely about $1,200 for the exclusive area. They require a card reserved." "I can provide mine," I stated. "Inform me when needed." "You're amazing," she exclaimed. "I'll visit tomorrow for it." The following day, she arrived and I gave her my credit card. She accepted with a grin, unaware it differed from my standard. "So what hour for my arrival?" I asked nonchalantly. Her grin wavered faintly. "Oh, well, it's exclusively professional attendees. You know, tedious industry chatter. You wouldn't find it engaging." "Understood," I affirmed, nodding compliantly. "No issue. Appreciate your comprehension," she said, pecking swiftly before exiting. "You're amazing." On her meal day, I contacted my card provider and notified the given card as misplaced. They promptly invalidated it and dispatched a replacement. Then I attired in my sharpest suit, superior to the event one, and proceeded to Antonelli's. Rather than main entry, I settled at the lounge section offering view of the exclusive area, somewhat hidden by an ornamental screen. They entered around 7:30, Susan radiant in an unfamiliar gown, encircled by coworkers. I identified the lady from the event who saw the chauffeur label. Also a man unknown who repeatedly placed his palm on Susan's lower back. She didn't retreat from his contact. Actually, she inclined toward it. I requested a whiskey and observed. They chuckled, captured images, lifted glasses in cheers. Susan thrived, focal point. I noted her altered demeanor here. Poised, lively, unlike the frequent complainer who was merely its support. At 9:45 precisely, the attendant delivered the receipt to their area. I saw Susan assuredly present my card, satisfied grin as she dismissed colleagues' split offers. "It's my birthday, insist." My gesture I envisioned her stating. The attendant departed with the card. Time passed. Then he returned, bending to murmur discreetly to Susan. Her expression shifted, bewilderment to alarm. She rummaged her device, likely viewing her accounts. Then typed hurriedly, messaging me undoubtedly. My device vibrated in my pocket. "Alex, issue with your card. Declining. Contact immediately." I remained silent. Another message. "This is critical. I appear foolish before all. Bill exceeds $1,200. Still silent. Merely savored my whiskey and witnessed the unfolding." Susan now clearly agitated, cheeks reddened as she fabricated reasons to coworkers. I saw her attempt other cards from her purse. All at limits, I knew, from her recent debt complaints. After 5 frantic messages, I responded finally. Glance rearward. I observed her read, head jerking in bewilderment. Then she pivoted, surveying until spotting me at the lounge. Her face paled. I rose, settled my tab, and advanced steadily to their exclusive area, retrieving an envelope from my jacket en route. The abrupt hush upon my entry was nearly humorous. Susan's eyes expanded in dread. Multiple at the table seemed to recall me, including the event lady. "Isn't this your chauffeur?" one queried Susan. I grinned amiably at the group. In fact, I'm or was her partner of 2 years. I extracted various photographs from the envelope, images of us at diverse occasions, festivities, trips. I arranged them on the surface. I also was the one who funded her gown at your client event, the Superior's package, and earned the chauffeur title for it. The uneasy quiet was profound. The man previously contacting Susan's back abruptly distanced. Her superior, a grave woman at the table's end, gazed at the images with squinted eyes. "Alex, shall we discuss externally?" Susan whispered sharply, face crimson. "Unnecessary," I replied agreeably. "I merely arrived to extend birthday wishes and inform that the card was invalidated, reported misplaced yesterday." "You did what?" she yelled, dropping pretense. I stood tall, straightening my jacket. "Oh, and regarding your query from 14 days prior. No, I'm not lucky you allowed entry, but I am for the insight. I addressed the group. Savor the remainder of your night, all. The receipt is yours, Susan." She leaped, seizing my arm. "You cannot depart. At minimum, settle the receipt." I eyed her grip on my arm, then her expression. "Depart from me," I stated softly, then pivoted and exited. As I left, chaos erupted behind. Susan shouting my name, murmurs of bewilderment, someone proposing bill division. I avoided glancing back. The subsequent day, messages and calls persisted. Susan vacillated between pleading pardon and vowing reputational harm. I blocked her contact. She appeared at my home twice. I ignored the door. She left emotional voicemails via friends' devices. I erased without hearing. A week on, a coworker contacted via professional network. Evidently, HR probed at work after her superior uncovered Susan's falsehoods on duties and credits for uninvolved tasks. The man contacting her at the venue, a higher-level coder she'd been discreetly involved with, who swiftly separated post-dinner. 14 days after the birthday meal debacle, a rap at my door. I opened to an elderly pair appearing uneasy. The likeness was clear. Mr. and Mrs. Davis I greeted, truly astonished. I'd encountered them once briefly during a town pass-through. "Alex," her father said, expression strained. "Might we enter?" I permitted, intrigued by their visit. We seated in my sitting area, atmosphere heavy with discomfort. "We wish to express regret," her mother eventually stated, "for Susan's actions for all." Her father assented. "She's faced difficulties since the restaurant night, job loss, relocated home with us." Regretful to learn, I replied, partly sincere. Despite it all, I wished no hardship on Susan, merely her absence from my existence. "No, avoid apology," her mother declared resolutely. "She caused this herself. We've long recognized Susan's materialism, likely overindulged in youth." Her father appeared mortified. "We urged her to seek someone stable financially, advised using her appeal while youthful, but never imagined such extremes." That clarified aspects. I recalled her father's past jest on Susan securing a major catch upon learning my business ownership. She shared the events. Her father proceeded. "Initially not. She returned with a tale of your public shaming, but we extracted the reality." Her mother retrieved from her bag an envelope. "She's overly embarrassed to appear, but we desired you receive this." Within was a $925 check and a scripted letter. For the gown, Superior's package, and more, regretful. I examined the check. It wasn't monetary. "Never was. We enforced accountability," her father clarified. "Compelled sale of designer items for repayment. Minor progress, yet progress." "Grateful," I said, refolding into envelope. "Appreciate your visit." Reportedly, she's removed all online profiles, offline for self-improvement or similar. Regarding me, operations thrive. I've begun seeing others warily. Shared coffee recently with a lady who's an early education instructor. Upon mentioning my builder role, she posed insightful queries on my tasks and appeared truly engaged in responses. Occasionally, I reflect on that ballroom instant when Susan deemed me chauffeur. As hurtful then, grateful now. Individuals reveal in grand instances, others in minor, offhand unkindnesses. Regardless, when shown true character, except initially, I merely regret delayed acceptance. Update. For credit card clarifications, no, fraud charges impossible. Card was validly provided by me, reported lost, not stolen. Institution merely invalidates and replaces. And yes, stranding her with the receipt was vindictive. But post 2 years as a funding source with a vehicle, I claimed minor vindictiveness.